Thank you for coming today. Today is Thursday, October 8th. Oh, November 8th. Thank you very much. November 8th. Today our topic is Law of Correspondence. And we're inviting Orion's Wisdom Channel to be with us today. And the Law of Correspondence, it says that as we think in our mind internally, it manifests externally. As within, so without. Comes to my mind instantly.
Greetings.
Hello.
And shall we further our discussion today?
Please.
And so it is. The law of correspondence is an interesting piece. It is something that we have tried to bring about to your understanding in the furthest degree that you are the creator of your reality. Literally the creator of all that you are about. All that you are seeing, what you perceive. Before you open your eyes, you are forming the surroundings. You are bringing this energy all about that you are all infinitely a part of. And it's interesting when you have two different people observing the same thing, that it becomes even more real. This experience that you're having in this place, in time. These are all reflections of all the things that you are dealing with in your life. These are reflections that are not just external, different from you, happening because. These are literally the reflections you are expecting to see and things that are going on within yourself. And so you are having an interesting experience from these reflections. From these experiences, you are gaining yourself a little bit of wisdom here and there through your experiences, what you are experiencing in the interaction with this reality. So, what you see within, yes, becomes the reality without. It's the correspondence that we are talking about, the creativity that you are, the creativeness that you are actively playing, as like a play that is taking place. You are part of the characters, and you are also staging the stage. You are the director, you are the actor, and you are taking your place as what it is you would like to have play out, what it is you expect for yourself, whether it is just the friends that you have, what quality of friends that you have, and all those things take place because you are expecting this sort of thing. And when things are not working out so well, you look at this and you say, well, why is this happening to me? And you're not quite seeing what is happening within. What is it that you see happening within yourself about a situation that is going on, because it is in a direct link to who you are, within as without. These are experiences that you are creating, dear ones. You are all being a part of it. It's a simple law that we have mentioned in other forms as well, is that you create reality. Just like as you would be looking at a mirror, instead of trying to change the frown on the mirror, you are actually changing the frown within by smiling, by using the emotion and the energy that is behind that creates the new reflection. It is a new vibration happening within you, a new expectation to see instantly. It's a much similar fashion as this.
You answered some of the questions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. You did answer some of the questions that came up for me, but in in correspondence, it's even when we're designing or creating within ourselves and it includes someone else outside of us, many times we don't get a feeling that the correspondence, when we begin to speak it or work it, that we're not corresponding with them. Now, I know from what you've said, it's because of what they're holding within them, whether they're not ready or they're thinking of something else. So would it help in a level of correspondence in creating something when it includes someone else outside of us, to have a thought without speaking a word, correspond with them with just a transfer of thought? Send a thought to them, not speak words.
This is happening unconsciously and consciously, and it is your energy that precedes you in a situation before you even enter the room of this other person. And as you enter the room of this other person, you are automatically adjusting, reconditioning yourself and harmonizing with this person before the situation of sending the thought. And yes, these are things to be aware of, because yes, you need to take responsibility of what is the outcome, how you are presenting yourself to such a situation. But it's not so much in the word forms that it particularly matters, as it is the energy that you are putting out. It is more or less the energy that you feel will happen out of a situation. It is an expectation that you are putting yourself in. What is it you desire, the outcome? How would you like the correspondence to be? Because you are interacting with all things at one moment, unconsciously, consciously, in this space, whether you know what space you are in. It is many different types of things that are happening. And we're not trying to say keep track of it all, but we are saying you are literally creating the reality before you walk into the space of this other person or entity or any sort of facet of time.
So do you pick up our correspondence of what we're thinking and sharing with you before we come to this building?
It is energy, yes. It is weekly things and events that are happening within your lives. We are picking up these time imprints of your past. And this is a time imprint that you are making at this moment. The past is only a memory now. And you are a new, modified person out of the past. You have changed, manipulated your structure, and have created small or great, depending on your circumstances, of how you are now. So you are not the same person as you were, for instance, last week, yesterday, and a few moments ago. You are suddenly changing constantly.
So
we pick up these vibrations that are being put off all the time.
So I can't speak for everyone else in the group, but I do have a closer connection with you. It's even last time we were together, you were speaking of love, and I could actually feel an expansion of your energy enter me that did nothing more than bring a warm smile to my face. And that was something I had not felt through the Keeper before. Was this something that you let come externally, or is it something that's just always there and I happen to feel it more that day?
It is something that you have felt more in that particular moment in that day, yes. We try to bring in multiple levels of communication as we come to these meetings, and we do fill your hearts. We hope that you can fill ours during these particular moments of time, for this is a precious time for us to be able to speak among you. And it is greatly something that we would hope that you feel something of what it is and our intention of being here. Being here in this moment in time now, to create a new type of reality, to create new types of avenues, and hopefully to help expand what it is that you already know and bring yourself to understanding, you remembering what it is, why you came here, and what it is that you want to bring forward now, in this time, in this great little dance of time of life, and be more fulfilling in what it is that is a part of you.
We can feel that, and I think it's strengthening. It's even strengthening for me, that correspondence, because I'm becoming more conscious of it.
You are all becoming more conscious here. This is a conscious bringing, developing sort of meeting, that you are open-minded, and we say open-minded because it has a few different effects here.
Could you elaborate on what you just said, the effects?
To not be so polarized in certain degrees with certain ideas that are happening. To be on both sides of the fence, seeing it in a third sort of D way, instead of it always being a black and white, that you see both sides of the story. When you are very polarized one side or the other, you tend to be more stuck in what it is that you are trying to understand for yourself. And even when you hear the facts of the other side, you seem to shut them down. And we would like to see a more balanced part of you. Each of you here have your own set of ideas and belief systems, and we would like you to see the broad spectrums of all the vibration that is on one end of the scale, even the darkness of dark, and that will also bring you to the lightest of light on the other side. Very polar, different types of energy that we would say, when it comes to understanding, the understanding of being able to be open-minded. To be open of, you can be one sort of way and think a certain thing and be on one side of the fence, and how you feel that you should be there is a fine place, that we are saying there's nothing wrong about those things. But to see the things not so much of the way of it being one way or another, but see a dual reality of the whole thing. And that brings you to a perspective that is more on an outer thing, looking into the same situation with two different eyes and two different perspectives.
Correspondence has a very broad spectrum to it, I understand, just as all the subjects we've talked about. And we do correspond to some of the energy that resides still from all of those that have been on this planet. Is that true?
To some degree, yes, but you are creating a new correspondence in a very moment you are standing in now. You see, when you look at time, it is not a continuous one big straight line as a timeline might be in your diagrams. It is more of a circular nature, and you are more or less repeating certain things, but you are repeating the same sort of mistakes. And where you are in this moment is your own particular time imprint, time where it matters, the moment that you are in existence, you are having experience in. And you can create a better, more clear, perfect way of proceeding yourself in each and every moment of where you are in that.
If you don't take the polarized view?
If you see yourself in a certain way and you are trying to transform yourself into understanding the greater nature of who you are, bringing a big part of yourself here now, fulfilling what is life to you, fulfilling what is joy to you, bringing that sort of life in this moment now brings you to a more or less perfect imprint of who you are now.
What about when a person wants to make a change in their life and they, we have The Secret and we have positive mental attitude and we have all these sort of movements and all these sort of practices or ways that different people on the planet teach how you can manifest the things you want, but in my experience, basically none of them really works so far. So my question is it that we've kind of allowed ourselves to be stuck in a kind of an energy where we can, with our conscious, logical brain, say, I want something different, but we're not changing fundamentally the energy? Is that why that's just saying I want something different doesn't make it happen? And if that's true, then I mean, where do we go so that we can really start manifesting the things that we want to see in the world?
We would say first look within yourself about what it is that you are personally expecting. We have a few ways we could go about looking at this particular matter. Now, would you say that these are all beautiful tools that can help people get something, and have some of these people that have been using these different tools, as we will call them, been able to manifest something from them?
Well, I think in terms of, yes, in terms of the way that people see the world, but in my experience, I don't think in terms of actual physical manifestation, I don't know of any practice that where somebody can say, I create this, and then it just happens. Not like, for example, the making of the Great Pyramids. I suspect that, the making of the pyramids was done by beings who call themselves Ra. I suspect it was along the lines of what you're talking about, but I think that there's just a kind of a jump between where they were in making those pyramids and where we are in terms of our evolution. So
we like that you have separated yourself from this as the whole, because there are different experiences as the other people use tools, and they have other different expectations of the outcome of the same things that are happening here. Now, what is good for them may not be the same for you. What works for you is going to be different, as learning, for instance, is going to happen on this planet. Much of the school systems are doing a good job to about 70 to 80% of the time, but then the learning is not happening because the changes are always taking place and the old systems are in play. These are the same sort of fundamentals that are happening with these tools now. As time is going forward now, tools are changing. It used to be long ago, if you didn't set a goal, you weren't going to get anywhere. Those are now older sort of paradigms. Now, can it still work for this particular moment in time? Of course it can. It is just, there are many more facets of going about the same sort of way. Now, when it comes to creation, yes, it all comes from thought forms. Even the Great Pyramids came from such a thing. And what can be done in your world, what is expected in your world, what is truly important for them now, is not quite the pyramids in their time when they were built. It is the different perspective that was there that harnessed that sort of thing into place. And that reality manifested out of the consciousness that was in those particular places. And the same with all megalithic ruins that you see in your past. Now, you are in a different moment of time now. You see something that is hard. We all, the keeper himself, includes himself in this very well, trying to understand what it is to change who you are so that you are flowing into the moment of what it is that you want to bring forward now, into the moment of your joy, to change the perspectives and bring about what your wants, your desires are. we say to simply go look into yourself in these things. Because it is your belief systems that are stopping, that are creating the resistance that are against these sort of things. We want you to look and evaluate. Why are you not wealthy? You have placed yourself in this particular bracket for a reason. For instance, we are just using wealth as one of the things because it comes up a lot.
Yeah.
Why you are in a certain degree has everything to do with what you are believing at that moment. And if you don't have a lot of wealth, there are some things that you feel must be in play because you are where you are. But nonetheless, you individually, each of you, have your own great manifestation, your own tubatorus that automatically brings in what you are attracting at all times. You are manifesting and creating, and you are reaching out into the great reaches of from externally of who you are and bringing them within, and within you are bringing without. This is probably one of the greatest ways we could probably mention the law of correspondence. But what you see is as soon as you open your eyes and as soon as you are done thinking about something, where does the changes take place? How does this come to be? There are many different levels that we could talk about that brings all of these things into play. Know that you are the creator, that you are bringing your own belief systems also to the table when it comes to what works, what doesn't work. What's going to be important to you, what's going to bring you joy is going to be different than every other being that is here. Look at the details. Look at the belief systems you have bought into. And look at what it is your heart wants. And bring balance to your mind and your heart and what it is that you feel are your needs and what it is that you feel are your wants. And know that abundance is a reality for some. We would like to see more of this here. We would like to see more brought in your fullness of what it is that you would like to experience here on your plane of reality. It is happening, progressing slowly in some ways. It is quite the jump. But when you manifest something as you have in your particular past, something great can come about. And when you reach these goals, these particular things that you would like to have for yourself, notice them. Notice that you have gathered them. And very seldom does it always make you happy for the long time period, because there are new things, new abundance, new types of wants that you are created out of these sort of situations. But do keep stepping on. It is your path, it is your light that you are bringing about.
So specifically, on Saturday evening, I would like to win the lottery. Okay, what might I do specifically to enable that?
How strongly do you believe that already?
I've known for a long time that I was going to win the lottery sooner or later. I just don't know when. I'd like to make it Saturday.
And so it is. But you must be in the vibration of that true reality of bringing that about. It is that you must be in one sort of way of thinking, being the match entirely of that vibration. What it would truly mean for you to win that lottery.
Okay.
What it would mean to you to actually have the numbers match perfectly. Creating that reality, that mesh between the two, in that great knowing that it is going to happen. And then what your reality is going to be. If there are things that are in the way at all, do look at them, because that will be a resistance to that. And if it feels like a great stretch, and so it is, and that will be the reality.
there are a lot of other people who also want the very same thing. How does that work?
Very few truly line themselves with the reality. You must see, you are in one reality here, and there are great barriers, some very unseen barriers, that would prevent such a thing from possibly happening. And these barriers are mostly all within yourself. It is mostly having everything to do with how you view everything. For instance, if you were to be in a new bracket of income, you would then have to feel more of a responsibility, for now you have such an accumulation of wealth in your terms of reality. And what would that do to you then? What do you feel underlining all of that? What does it do to your current situations with the relationships of all that you have, all that you are, including your job? How does it affect your entirety of your whole life? It is all part and in connection with all that you understand and believe.
In my case, I see this as a tool for enabling Felicity to move forward, for establishing funds for other projects like her. I firmly, deeply believe that it's time on this planet for people to be empowered, for everyone to be empowered, not just for a few through sheer force of will to dominate and control the wealth on this planet, but for everyone to share equally, for everyone to have power and to know their own power. And I believe it's time. I really do. I think it's time now for that change.
Well, we commend you for wanting such a thing, but know that it is at one side of the coin. And there are some that are on the other side, as this polarization might be, that you live on this planet that has these other ideas that are in play now. It is not that you cannot bring this about. It is that you have very many things that are at play at this particular time that are structures that want to keep their particular power. They are losing their power, for it is, yes, an older paradigm that has kept this planet in a certain way. But it is changing. It is changing with time. It is changing with the conditions that are around all the things that are here now. The people are beginning to step up, and they are wanting new changes, including, of course, energy.
Is that why many changes come about from an unconscious thinking or an unconscious level? Because consciously we add a lot of resistance to things?
Many times it is the case. You add much resistance to all of the things that you have, mostly because of fear that is there, because it is something you feel like you do not deserve. We are simply saying you do deserve much of this, but you don't give yourself quite the credit that you feel or think, or the responsibility you're worried about of taking those new avenues. But these are pieces to yourself. These are pieces that you wanted to bring, your particular light that is here. It is fundamentally who you are, what you are coming here to do. And you see these things that are here, and it's not just one thing, it is many things that you would like to do. And you will begin to scale them in importance, and you'll begin to harmonize them with your vibration. And that is the trick, is being able to harmonize and balance them with yourself. To be able to be in balance, to be in that groove to those things. And your reality will begin that way. And it will end that way in this particular life and this planet. But you must allow this to happen. You must allow yourself. Begin to plan on doing these things. So many of you say, I'm going to travel. I'd like to go see that and this and that. But you do not plan to see these things. And these things go by the wayside. And what you wish you could have done, you put to the side. Many times that's why we say be as a child, so that you can see what it is in the moment and want it and feel like you can have it, or at least try.
So it's back to walking your walk. If you're going to talk it, you need to walk it. And if you don't, then it's just another piece of information going by and that you're not really attached to. So your purpose, is it not, to align yourself, your own personal being, to what you feel is important in your own reality, in your own connection to the source. Not, and for example, my thing is how I keep spreading out. It's outside of me. It's, I want to change everything outside of me. But really, the only thing I can change is myself.
Your purpose is not quite to align yourself with reality. It is to align yourself with self. It is align yourself with who it is that you are in particular. And then you can apply that to the realities that you are in. Multiple realities, we would say, that are happening here, that you are in all the time, and not quite aware of the other realities that are around you, but you are affecting all of these realities that you are particularly in. Now, many times we say, we will hear that people say that I can't find the exact way to do something, my exact path. We say walk in the general direction that is. Begin to take the steps that feel more right. You already know what feels right or what feels not so good. Start walking the directions that feel right to you. Feel like they're fulfilling. It may not always be the right particular thing. It might not always end up the way you had expected. But do start expecting to find the right ways and begin to unlock those ways. Begin to open more avenues for yourself, and you'll find many more paths to what it is that you are, what it is that you are becoming, and what fulfills you in this particular life.
So really, we're only joining a flow or a wave that's already moving.
You're on a constant move. As an energy evolving itself in this particular life, the leading edge of who you are. You are that now, and you are that in that moment just now.
So we're a part of a bigger picture where we just get caught into what I want is what I want. But actually, we already have the commitment that we want oneness, and that's where we're going, no matter what.
Maybe for some, and maybe others do not feel that that is what they are wanting. It is what you particularly want, not quite the belief systems that are all around you. It is your particular self. Be in touch with who you are, not necessarily be in touch with everyone else around you in the same sort of fashion, because you are bringing that reality that you feel that is everything else out in external in. And we want you to bring what is within and bring that to your external part of your being.
Is there some kind of exercise we can do to practice this? To like, for example, you said there are obstacles seen and some obstacles unseen towards achieving, for example, winning the lottery on Saturday. So is there some kind of exercise we can do to become more tuned in and more aware? And the second part of that question is, I'd like to request, if it's possible to do so, if you can, for each of us here, if you can, on the other dimensions of who we are, download to us that information as well.
Download the information of who you are.
No. On how to consciously how to consciously be better aware of that. We're trying to bring a knowledge of our Great Spirit into this physical reality we have right here, and that it's hard. I mean, I don't know if you've experienced this, but I mean, these bodies weren't designed to have all of Great Spirit in, and now we're trying to figure out how to do that, right? And it's not easy. So yeah. I mean, do you have any? Yeah. Well, I think a lot of us want.
We are hoping
to know
that
what
you
to
find.
do. Over time, we hear you talk and we listen. We say, yeah, that's right on, and then we go out of here and we go on and we do other stuff. And so when we're doing the other stuff that kind of takes up our life, we get into kind of a rut. We get into the how we've always done things thing. I guess what I'm asking is, can you suggest a process or something that will help towards a more sustained effort to learn our own selves, to be in touch with the obstacles we're putting up against the things that might actually be in our best interest for our Great Spirit?
Well, again, there are many different fashions, many different tools that would work here in this particular group setting, but it would be more effective on some as it would be for others. But we would ask for you in particular, use stillness now. Use a stillness and bring in and close your eyes and breathe and feel the stillness of who you are now. Feel that center part of you in this particular way. Who it is you are, what it is you are truly connected to. I know it feels you are in this particular body that you are in. And that it is that you are in these surroundings here, in a group. But you have your own desires that are within yourself now. Feel those things that are in your heart. It is a feeling. It is something that is wanting to be created out of itself. It is there. It is already part of you. You have a connection to yourself. All beings do have this connection with this particular part of themselves. Now, there are realities that are within yourself. There are things that are stopping you from doing what it is that are all of the things that are in your heart. Whether those be fears, whether those be the things that your environment has right now. What are those limitations, and why are you in this particular dogma? Why are you still in these limitations? Now, you have chose it all. You have chosen it all to this moment, now. You have chosen the place, all of the things that you have placed in your place.
Yes.
All of the friends and connections that you have now. You have brought them all in to this particular reality.
So making a new choice even today as we leave. Making a new choice to have a greater connection even with you. A form of correspondence. It's just making a new choice and knowing that it is.
You are connected to all things. And if it is that you would like to have more of a correspondence with us in particular, you can. It is a connection that you can make and be made over again.
Simply by intending?
Simply by intending. Yes, simply by knowing that you can connect to these things. You can connect to much of these particular things. Now, you must be in the vibrations of these things to be able to have these things. Same with your reality. You must be in vibration of all things to be aligned and to have certain things happen. You are the reason your reality is the way it is. Not everyone plays the same reality as you. You are unique in nature. Do view yourself in where you are. Each of you are. You're the manifestors. Do bring focus to those desires that you have within you, and you will naturally bring open more doors, more avenues, more pathways to the same destination of who you are. It may come in new forms for you. It may come in other routes and unforeseen things. There are many coincidences happening daily, but they are happening for reasons that you have brought them for yourself.
I wonder if I could paraphrase this and tell me if I'm correct. Then sometimes we say we want something as though it's supposed to just instantly appear, whereas the reality is that we're constantly making lots of decisions, and where we're at this moment in our environment, this is some total of many decisions over a long period of time. And so would you say that it's a question of creating a vision right now for what it is you intend or want, what it is you intend, and then start taking steps towards that and trust your heart to guide you?
Yes, that is definitely one form to bring about a great new reality. And that's a one good way, an analogy of looking at that particular thing. You have taken in much of what it is that is in your surroundings since your birth in this particular life. You have taken in all the realities that have played out in your school, in everything, all the situations that have been in your particular past. And this is a culmination of who you are now, to the way you feel you should dress, be, everything. It is all the things that you are now. And so, with these things, to become in alignment of something that is new for yourself. And it is new. And your wants will always be changing. Your desires will always be changing as you are the leading edge, the new creator in every single moment. Yes, your thoughts do take time to create themselves in this reality. It takes time for you to align yourself to these vibrations that are seemingly very external. But these are also vibrations you're aligning yourself to within. And these alignments that are happening are expectations that you are expecting from multitude of belief systems that are happening here, now, that you have bought into. And it's not that it is good or it's particularly bad. It is just how you feel things are. So in that, I'll bring in a new analogy to all of what it is that you are evaluating here. Because it is your particular life. It is your particular reality. And what is true in your reality, there are some that do win the lottery in their reality.
So if I am to align myself with more tea customers, because that's my life purpose, I have to feel that within myself.
Yes, you will be expecting to see many more customers come in if this is what you particularly want and desiring. You must feel what it is to have that particular space that would create this scenario for yourself. It is the feeling that you are bringing that precedes you. It is your part of your expectations that are happening here.
So like he wanted to win the lottery, that I wanted to sell more tea and bring more peace to people, that I have to feel that in like all of myself and to know that that's my life purpose.
If you feel that it is your particular life purpose to sell more tea, then yes, so it is. But you are creating this particular way of thinking. Is anyone would in a particular moment. It is not good, it is not bad, it is just, it is. Know that you are what is before you now. You are this particular reality. It is the reflection that you have about yourself now, about your tea, about the lottery. It is about the wealth, and it is about the abundance. It is about the ways that you have been able to track things in the past. It is about who you are and what it is that you would like to bring forward now. Spearheading that, truly understanding who it is within yourself. That particular light that wants to come from your particular heart. That is the most important part of, and the greatest piece that we would say to examine well and bring that forward in your situations. Let that be part of the focus of who and what life is all about, because life may not always be the money. It may not always be the great new customers that come in for the tea. It may be something that is even deeper than all of that. That is wanting to present itself here in this particular now. It is not that it is bad. We will say again that you may want these things, for these are things that are in your reality, that it would feel great to have these particular moments of time to be this certain way. But know that your belief systems are the things that are putting a hindrance to some of those things. Truly understand the whole levels of what it is that you are wanting to create with all the things, even lottery, as far-fetched as it may seem for many people hearing such a thing. The realities are that you can align yourself with many different sorts of things that you would like to play for yourself.
So again, our heart really knows what we want already. Is it our beliefs that get in the way, that stop us? Is that is some of the resistance to following our heart?
Yes. We say beliefs in conjunction with all the different things that are in beliefs. Beliefs also being in the fear of much of those things. Beliefs being in the way that you were taught about certain things about money. Beliefs that you personally may have, that you may even be subconscious about. The hidden things that don't seem to make a lot of sense, or why you feel particularly the way you do about where you are in your moment of time.
That's what I wanted to ask. How can we be more aware of these belief systems that consciously we're not even aware of? They're so ingrained, so entrenched in who we are that we're not even aware of what it is that's keeping us.
We will say, take for instance, what doesn't feel right to you now. Take a moment, and what it is that you do not like about one particular thing that is happening in your life, feel what it is that is happening there, and begin to break it down piece by piece. Dissect it. The keeper didn't really want to use the word dissecting. But look at the fundamentals of all the pieces that are there. All of what is there. Why do you have a feeling about it that is the way it is? Think of all the ways it stems from childhood on, and it could even be further back than that. But feel what it is and why these pieces are there. What did you understand about this particular thing? What is in your belief system that has you upset about this person doing something the way that you feel is not the way you should be happening in your particular reality? Look at it for what it is. Look at how it's playing out. What is about yourself that isn't quite congruent with this particular piece or model that is happening in your life, the scenario that is playing out. Look at the details. Look deeply and keep going. Keep going and going. Keep breaking it down piece by piece by piece. Each feeling, each part of it. And you'll begin to see what you have assembled all together in the entirety. And why is your idea assembled in that particular way? When you have it completely disarrayed, transparent, and then nakedness of itself. You will see all of what is there and why you feel particular reasons of being in this particular way of looking at this one particular situation or reality in this playing out sort of way. Now change the script. You're the director. Change and do away with whatever particular belief system that was holding you back. Say, I do not need this particular thing anymore. I think I will change it now. And begin your view differently. Now you have changed into a new moment of time. You have brought in something that it was entirely one way. And the way you felt and thought about those things was that particular way. Now bring it forward. And be a new person with those things. Do that with all the things that aren't feeling so congruent and all the things that are feeling so congruent and why they're feeling so ways. And we are not saying that you must change entirely of what it is that you are, for you are all doing very well in these things. Just know that you are in the flow of who you are. You are in the flow of reality. You are bringing a piece of yourself forward that you are now wanting to experience this new dual reality, this new part of yourself, and bringing on new experiences with those things. Lining yourself up with yourself. That's what we are saying. That's what brings your reality to yourself as well. These are the pieces that bring the joy to your life, that bring the passion alive in this life. Dance with it. Play with it. Each of you will find your own many different tools to do the same thing of what we are talking about, and what works for you in particular may be better than what we are even trying to say here. We are hoping that your creative part of yourself comes forward now and brings this particular way forward in your life. You are having these different struggles and experiences now. Know how to harness yourself with your heart, with your mind, with the light that you have, the ability that you have to connect with these things. Bring it in your reality. Know that it is possible. For if you don't feel that it can be, and that your way of being cannot be connected in this way, fill that belief system with a new idea and begin to start in a new way. Bring a new reality to yourself. These many different aspects of these things we understand. We are going on a tangent.
I had a feeling I want to share with you. It just kind of struck me that the belief systems don't cause us to get a certain thing. What they really do is we allow them to fool ourselves into thinking that we have a narrow range of choices when we don't.
That's true.
We have a wide range of choice. We can choose anything we want. And the belief structure is just taking away our power, basically.
It's usually limiting. It's in some fashion or another, polarized on one side or another. These are limiting things of yourself that you feel that cannot be done.
So we don't make those choices that we could have made because we think we can't. When the reality is we always could.
That's right. There are many different realities that could be playing out for yourself now. You are in this particular reality playing now.
I have another thing that I want to mention. So, like when you talk about tools, so say I am a tea specialist. If I align myself with all the tea specialists that's out there, would that raise my vibration to the level where they're at and keep me focused and continue to evolve myself? Is that like another tool that I can use to change my vibration?
Again, we say tools in your language way of saying that these are lessons that you can take on for yourself, that you are learning different facets of ways of being able to understand something. And yes, maybe perhaps for you, understanding what it is in all the professions that are out there in the tea world, that you can learn quite a bit and gain quite a bit of knowledge about those things. But we also say look within your heart, because your heart also has much of that information there that already wants to be a part of yourself, that you have with the tea, that you enjoy. It is the facets of why you enjoy this particular thing.
And that could be applied to anything, anyone, any subject, any knowledge.
Yeah, we would say for the most part it can.
I feel an incredible expansion right now. Just the idea that I've always been able to make these choices. I thought I couldn't. The reality was that I always could have made these choices.
The key would be now to be able to carry this expanded thought in your next moment, in the next day, in the next month. It is one thing to be able to achieve a vibration that is a very expanded look on your life, and then to go into a very harder situation as you would perceive it as, and say, well, this is too limiting for me. This is just not working here now. But you are still buying into certain belief systems. You are still manifesting. You are still the creator. You are still at the helm of your particular life. It's being able to see the creative force that you are.
It's much
See
greater than what I thought.
Yes. You are the leading edge.
So actually, you've given, Stephen's asked you for the information to have it manifest, and you manifested it. You asked for help, and you got it.
I did.
In this moment.
I did.
Very cool.
I can really feel it.
Yeah, me too. I can feel it. So because you did that, you asked for all of us, and we all got it.
Sweet.
Nice. Thank you.
This is powerful.
I'd like to ask a question about generations, about DNA that's come through. I'm just going to use me. The generations of DNA that have come through. In this moment, if I recognize that that is a reality I don't desire, I can make that change, even though it's been handed down through generations. That thought has been handed down, and I can stop that in this moment, correct?
Again, this is a vibration that you must align with in yourself, and then you can bring these changes and manifest them as true changes to your DNA. It is something all of yourself needs to be in harmonization with, and then the vibration changes for all the cellular activity that is happening on your physical plane. It is a true belief throughout your core of all that you are, that you can change and magnetize and these new constructions of yourself. And yes, the controls are becoming more and more manual every day, and yes, you can change the codes that are seemingly so handed down from other generations now to this reality that you are in now, in this body, and change those particular belief systems. But you must understand that you are the healer. You are also the one that has, in part, brought some of this on. So change the ideas that are there. Feel it within yourself in all the entirety that it is. And you can change that bit of yourself to a new reality, because you are another vibration. But you must harness this and hold this enough that the change is complete throughout your entireness of who you are. Hold this energy. be one with what it is that you want to have manifested. It doesn't matter if it is abundance we are talking about here or it is healing. It is much the same. Each of you have great potentials here. We see in a great light that is about it comes from the center of who you are. We know that you have moments that are not here, that you are not feeling so expanded as you would like to have in all of your time. But you always can be conscious of where you are walking and where you are heading yourself towards, what it is that you are thinking of. And correct yourself if it is something that you do not like in your particular vibration at a rather quicker pace. Be able to resolve those issues within yourself, within what it is of the correspondence that is without yourself, with others, with your reflection of what it is inside yourself. And getting in touch with the trueness of yourself is going to be the greatest truths that you're going to have manifest. Not the external part of you, but the internal part of you. It is the connection that you have with all the light that is there. All the abundance that the universe has to give. It's there. Infinitely within, as it is infinitely without. Connected truly with all things that are about. And though you seem like you are in this reality, you are in a multitude of realities. Now you are not just in this particular reality, but there is a parts of you and others.
What other realities are you referring to?
You have a few different realities that you are in simultaneously. These are your other etheric bodies. These are your particular moments, other parts of yourself that are there, that you have left behind to be an experiencer in this particular moment, now living in this physical world, this realm.
So would that part of us reside in a community? The spiritual community, so to speak, or an etheric community?
Both.
Both.
You have some part of yourself beyond this veil that you have left behind. For instance, you are a male. You were also left parts of yourself so that you can be this one particular aspect here now.
Is our majority of our being here and not somewhere else? Are we sure of that?
Your maturity is the understanding of your experiences as you are going through life now. You are bringing on new experiences that bring on new paradigms, that bring on new parts of yourself.
So simultaneously, those parts that we left behind are experiencing what we are experiencing here.
Yes, you are connected to all those things simultaneously, but not a great connection is particularly made.
And those other aspects of self are also experiencing other things at the same time that we're not conscious of, right?
Not unconscious of entirely, but yes.
Are we trying? Is the goal, intention, to bring ourselves all together, to bring us all into our own self in this one awareness, or not? Or is to have different realities and experiences?
I would say there was many different intentions and many different moments of time, but yes, in the generalization of where you are bringing up parts of yourself that is connected with the love that you are, the peace that is fulfilling to you, and that part is wanting to come more forward now. It is part of the revolution, if you want to call it that, of a human being. To want to do more of what it is that it enjoys. To find a new way of living life so that it can be more fulfilling. So you are bringing on a new connection with yourself. We would say, yes, that is something that would be a great goal to have. It would be a great idea to harness that sort of energy and to be able to allow that particular love of that into your reality. It is your particular piece that you are bringing. There were certain things about this particular reality that each of you have come here to experience for yourself, and that is why you are here now. It is why you are sitting in these particular seats now. It is no mistake that you have been where you have been, and you have treaded where you have treaded, and you have these things that are playing in the backgrounds that are even annoying to you. For these are teachers. These are parts of yourself. These are your true connections with what it is that you are experiencing on a daily basis, even the things that don't seem like it means anything. These are parts of yourself. These are parts of what you expect. These are your energy forms that are within yourself. They say reality, and we will confirm this in a little bit, happens much is the same as it would happen in a small little atom. You will see much of the molecules move in much of the same sort of fashions as you would see throughout the universe. It is much the same of your particular reality here in these bodies, even though you have much out there externally. Externally in this reality, externally of yourself that is in other realities. Is not quite important to configure what it is that you are in other realities, but it is important what you are experiencing and what it is that you would like to experience and to bring and to come to know what it is that you are through these experiences. You're creating it all along.
I have heard it said that we are never alone and we're never on our own. Is this true?
It is true in the way that you will feel that it is true. There are times that you feel very lonely and that you feel like you're the only person. Teenagers especially feel this at times. But it is you are, again, as lone as you want to feel, and you are also as connected as you want to feel. You can connect yourself with much out there. Right now, consciousness are reaching higher levels of understanding and bringing their minds to other ideas that they didn't understand how they were able to bring these ideas about. They were asking better questions and they were getting better answers all the time about certain things that they are interested in. And this will continue to happen as it does in all particular realms. These are understandings of yourself. You are connected to the infinite source of all that there is.
But there's one difference, something taking place right now than times before with the Atlanteans and maybe even with the Lemurian. We've never really talked about the Lemurian. The Lemurians, were they here before the Atlanteans?
Yes.
So, like Mitch want to forget some of her DNA or like change her DNA. Like if I want to bring forth something that happened to me in another life, like I supposed to remember how to read tea leaf. And somebody told me that I did that in another past life, and so do I just set an intention and say, I know how to do this? Like, I supposed to remember? Is this like the past life supposed to be part of me now?
dear ones, we find this very interesting, that you must feel that you must remember all that you were in this moment. There was this veil that you have in place, so that you could not remember what it was that you were before this particular time. And this is for you to understand. Yes, this is your particular journey to find what it is that you are wanting to discover. For if it was all given to you at once, it may not be quite the journey you're hoping to have, the experience to find what it was, the truths about tea, for instance. You are bringing this out, and it's coming naturally through you, and it could have been, yes, other lives that you have experienced tea with. But naturally, the way that you are looking at tea will come more true in its form by just allowing yourself to travel through your heart about tea. Travel through what it is that you enjoy, your passion about tea. It will come through you in your fulfillment of what tea means to you.
So what we came here for in this body this time, since we're talking about corresponding, would it happen much faster if we didn't try to correspond with what we did in another life? Because it doesn't really matter.
Not necessarily, no.
No?
You say you have taken on many different forms. For instance, you have wanted to be in a form that you are in now, and to have these experiences, although you have never had experiences in this particular life that you have ever had in another particular life. Each life you usually like to experience something entirely different, although you deal with them the same about ways. Although you are evolving through time, you are perfecting yourself each time, you are wanting to bring about a new situation, and that is what's happening here. You are collapsing time, and you are also creating new realities through this particular lifetime of lifetimes. You may, for instance, have been something in one particular life that you have never dealt with in this life now. But yet, when you pass on, you take on both of these aspects that you have gained in this life, and also the gains of all of the past lifetimes that you have experienced yourself in. So you have taken on all these aspects of yourself, and you are also understanding new perspectives from all in each of them, and how you correspond in all of it. It's a connection that you have, and it may be beneficial to remember something, for it could bring out why your belief systems are particularly this way, and why your personality is. What is happening and how it feels could be a part of those experiences, for it is part of the DNA that is in yourself, and it is in those codes within yourself that tell you about yourself. It is in that personality, it is in all of those things that you have come here and have been experiencing through your form in this body. So move through it. You can connect to some of this. Yes, you can connect to your past. You can remember much of what it is that you are, but you would naturally want to be doing this anyway. It is a natural form that you are already that you already have, and you take on.
So the more that we enjoy it and we love it, the more energy we have to create it.
Joy.
Sure.
Something.
Both, yes.
So it's our own fear that it's really stops us from being being limited to our belief systems.
And we also don't say fear is a bad thing either. It just, many times here, it lessens the progression that is taking place to what it is that you want.
I think the more we understand that we create our own reality, the more we can gradually let go of the fear.
Yes, and also be able to begin to take and acknowledge the responsibility that you have with associating yourself with all these belief systems and your particular creation and creating moments.
Good?
I'm satisfied.
Everybody good? All right. Well, it feels like we came to a joining of the energies today.
It was truly magnificent today, and we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts
Yes.
with what you've shared with us, and you do add a great perspective to life.
It is.
Do you feel you're gaining as well?
We are always gaining and understanding. We are developing as you are developing. We are coming through in our own ways, and we feel sometimes we have our own answers to many of life's lessons, and we see even more an expansion way of looking at all things. But no, dear ones, it has been a pleasure for us to be among you, for we learn from you as you learn from our ideas that we bring forward a bit here. It has been much of our pleasure and our honor to be among such beautiful people.
Thank
You are all each creators. Know this and bring this expansion part of yourself into your life.
We thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you, Ryan, for driving the bus.
And the keeper.
Keeper of the flame.
Yep. Keep her. And so it is.